Hi there, Booktube. My name is Cassandra. I'm a school librarian at a school for 3rd grade through 12th graders. I'm the mom of a toddler boy, and I am here to start a booktube. Um, so this is a new thing for me. I don't know anything about making videos. I don't know anything about editing or filming or anything, so this is going to be a fun adventure for everyone. To get started, I thought I would do the Booktube Newbie Tag, and we'll go through the questions. I'll post them below. It was created by this vlogger named Brenda C, but she apparently her channel is private now, so I can't give her the credit that she deserves. So, on to the first question. So, question 1 is, why did you start this channel? And for me, it's a lot of weird and random reasons. The first is that I love books. I love talking about books. I love sharing books. I'm a librarian. I mean, I chose a whole profession because I like talking about books. So that's the biggest one. The second is that I read a lot for work and for fun, and I read a lot of books, and I read them very fast. And so a lot of times I can't remember what I've read. And a kid will ask me for a book recommendation, and I'll be like, oh, try this one. And they'll ask me, hey, what's it about? And I'll be like, I don't remember, but I remember I liked it. So, which works for a few kids, but not very many. So I figured by having a booktube, I would either remember because I made a video, or I'd be able to watch them myself and remind myself, hey, that's what that book is about. So, the next reason that I made it is because I really wanted to learn something new. I graduated from library school in 2014, and while I've picked up a few little skills here and there, this would be like a very big, very different thing for me to learn. I don't have any background in video making. I'm sure you can tell by my wonky setup and the lighting and all the things that people on YouTube do a lot better than me. So this is just a new fun thing for me to learn. And finally, the last and silliest reason is because it would give me an excuse to wear lipstick again. Where I work, I have to wear a mask over my face every day, which is fine. It's in these times that's important, but it does mean my lipstick collection has languished for the last 2 years, and I'd like to use it before they all dry up. So here we go. Question number 2. What fun and unique things can you bring to YouTube and the booktube community? So for me, like I said before, I'm a librarian for a private school for 3rd through 12th graders. I also have a toddler. So I'm reading a lot of different kinds of books over a lot of different genres and age groups, and I will plan to talk about all of these things, both from like my personal enjoyment and whether or not I would recommend them for kids. The other thing is, I'm a mom, and I'm a little bit older than some YouTubers, so that's a slightly different perspective. I'm sure there are other moms on here. I'm just talking about the ones that I've encountered and seem to have the shiniest channels. So, yeah, so I think that's what I have to bring. Question number 3. What are you most excited about for this channel? For me, it's sharing the books that I like, sharing books that I kind of hated, because those are fun to talk about too. Sharing the books that I feel like I probably would have liked if I was in a different kind of mood, because that happens to me kind of a lot. Just talking about books. I made a whole profession about talking about books, and this is just an extension of that. The other thing is I'm excited to learn something new. As previously stated, I don't have any background in YouTube or making videos. I'm very much not an early tech adopter, so this is something new and different for me. Question number 4. Why do you love reading? For me, it's because I love stories. I love stories of any kind. I think a story can transport you to a new place, introduce you to new people and to new ideas. For me, reading is one way that I get stories. I also really love movies and TV shows, anything that can tell me a good story. So, question number 5. What book or series got you into reading? This is such a hard one for me because I don't remember a time that I didn't have books and reading in my life. So there's not one book that got me into reading or got me back into reading. Some of the earliest that I can remember are like the Boxcar Children and the Babysitter's Club. There's probably so many more from when I was a kid, but those are kind of the ones that I remember the most as far as this question. But again, it's just one of those, I've always been a reader. It's always been a big part of my family and my life. And there's not any one book or series that kind of catalyzed it for me. It was just always a thing. Question number 6. What questions do you have for your favorite booktubers? For me is, did you have any background in making videos before you started your channel? If not, do you have any tips or tricks or places that you learned how to do this? Preferably free or cheap places that you learned how to make videos. If you have a full-time job or have kids especially, when did you find time to do all this? I'm very nervous that I'm going to start doing this and kind of peter out after like 2 weeks because I'll realize, oh my gosh, I don't have any free time. And finally, hey, do you want to be my friend? That's my question for most booktubers, is actually, do you want to be my friend? Question number 7, what challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome? My complete and utter lack of any knowledge about filming and video editing. That and finding the time to do it. I have a full-time job, I have an hour and a half each way commutes, and I have a toddler at home, so finding the time to film and edit might be a little difficult. I know people do it. We'll see. Question number 8. When did you start reading? This kind of refers back to that other question. I don't remember a time before reading. Obviously it happened because I didn't come out of the womb reading, but I have very fuzzy childhood memories, especially of anything before middle school. So I don't have any like that moment that I'm like, oh, this is when I started reading. I just was always a reader. There have been times that I've read a little less, grad school, cough, cough. But it's always been a big part of my life. I always get back to it whenever things kind of calm down. So, reading is just, again, I made a whole profession out of it. So here we are. Question number 9. Where do you like to read? Pretty much anywhere for me. I have the Kindle app, the Libby app, and the Audible app on my phone. That's where I do my subway reading. I also enjoy reading during my lunch break in my office, and when I'm here at home, I enjoy reading in bed. That's kind of my spot. Always has been, even no matter where I live and how much space I have. I just end up back in bed. Even if I could make a little reading nook, I probably would still read in bed. So finally, question number 10, what kind of books do you like to read? Fantasy is my go-to. It's my one true love, especially YA fantasy. Give me a story about a strong female character who learns her magic powers and saves the world, and I'm a sucker for it. I will fall for it every single time. I also enjoy reading self-help. It's kind of my guilty pleasure. I have a big love-hate relationship with that particular genre. Dystopian sci-fi is up there, though less since the world has become a dystopia. It's not as fun to read anymore, but I got a little love out there for my girl Suzanne Collins. So I'm really hoping she writes another one that's set after this new ballad of songbirds and snakes. I want one about Tigress. Not gonna lie, that's what I want. Um, I'm also going to be reading a lot of things for younger children. I just started as the 3rd through 6th grade librarian at the school that I work at. I used to only do the middle and upper school, and now I'm doing lower school, so I'm kind of trying to diversify my reading there. I'm reading more books for adults because I find that as much as I love a YA fantasy, sometimes the tropes get a little much, and I need to shake it up a bit with like books for older readers. Yeah, I read a little bit of everything, but YA fantasy is my one true love. So, well, thank you for joining me on this YouTube newbie journey. I hope to post maybe once a week or so, although maybe a little more realistically will be once every other week, at least to start out with, but while I'm still learning. If you are inclined to do so, like and subscribe, and join me on this journey of learning Booktube and how to do all this crazy stuff. Thanks so much for watching, and see you next time.